Welcome to yet another interaction with a professional. This is part of our series on alternative careers, regularly hosted by Tarunya Shankar. And today we have with us Deepika Kumaravel. But let me introduce Tarunya Shankar first. She has been a host for this program and invited exciting guests from different careers. She herself has been a person who's chosen an alternative career after studying law for 5 years in a premier law institution in India. She is now a content writer on a website. We have with us Deepika Kumaravel, who's an advertising professional, who's a very senior writer. But before this, her first introduction to creative arts was through theatre. She was part of Kudupatre, which is an alternative theatre group in Chennai, and she has written, performed, and worked in various aspects of theatre all these years, over 2-3 decades, along with an active and very successful career in advertising. I'm going to hand this over to both of them to give us some insights to what kind of careers and what kind of life theatre professionals have.
Thank you, Latha.
So I'd actually first like to start by asking you about your theatre group, which you started, I believe, in the early 1990s, called Magic Lantern. And with Magic Lantern, you then went on to produce multiple performances of the famed Ponniyin Selvan show. So I'd love to know about your experience with Magic Lantern.
Yeah. So Magic Lantern itself is an offshoot of Kudupatre. Kudupatre being one of the premier theatre groups professionally handled, started by Sahitya Kala Academy Padma Award winner Na Muthuswamy. Magic Lantern was started in 1996 by all people who left Kudupatre. And yes, I was part of the founding team. But then I withdrew because we decided spouses will not be part of the management team or the trust. It was started as a trust.
I will interrupt you. I forgot to mention that Deepika comes from a family of people committed to theatre and creative arts. So that is the background.
Yeah, so my husband is part of the trust, and Magic Lantern was started actually to do theatre for children. And we did a very famous series of plays based on fables of the world, and we took it to schools. And then we did Pinocchio, and then we did a series of plays till somebody said, look, if you are, Kudupatre is basically alternative theatre, but Magic Lantern started straddling, we went to the mass. So people said, if you are being so open about theatre, why don't you do Ponniyin Selvan? And at first it seemed daunting because it is 5 volumes of an iconic book, almost like the Tamil Lord of the Rings. But then Kumaravel and Praveen told Kumaravel, if you can write, I will direct. And Kumaravel said, if you direct, I'll write.
That's nice.
And so that's how it started.
Yeah.
And it took 6 months to write, and then 1 year of rehearsal. And we first performed it in 1999 in Bucks Theatre, which is at the back of YMCA.
Right.
3 days, people were standing outside. People, really famous performers of Chennai, were standing outside because Bucks Theatre could accommodate only a few. But we could not do it further because it was so finance intensive.
It is elaborate, isn't it?
Extremely elaborate. We were able to do it then because Tota Tarani did our sets for free.
I see, okay.
And
Art for art's sake.
Arts for art's sake, and Nasir, who had just done a film which used a lot of our props, just handed over his props to us. And Nalini Sriram did our costumes, just taking money for tailoring charges.
Yeah.
And Banu did our makeup again, completely.
Almost pro bono.
Almost free.
Yeah.
So, it's remarkable. So many people came together and enabled us to do it. But it's not right for us to push that goodwill. So we stopped.
Right.
2014, SS International came forward And they said, look, we've seen you do. They were with us in 1999 as our media partners. So they came forward and they said, look, right now we are a performance house also. SS International had done certain events and all that. They said, we are willing to be your producers if you do this. And the difference between 1999 and 2014, 15 up to 17 was these were indoor shows. 1999 it was an outdoor show. Bucks Theatre being a,
So what did you find were the major differences between the outdoor and the indoor shows?
Outdoor, we literally used the trees, the vines as props. So if the Abatudavigals had to jump down from a tree, they climbed the tree at the back of the sets and jumped down.
That was so cool.
So that's how it was. You can't do that indoor. Indoor, the set is determines your movements.
Right.
So that was a difference.
Yeah.
The other difference was the way money handled itself.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah. The turnover in 2014 was the costliest for any stage performance in India. It was around 1.5 crore.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a proper production.
So it's
Yeah.
still a hobby, right, for the people in it.
For most people who do theatre as a part-time profession, it does not remain a hobby for long.
Okay, so they take it seriously.
Because theatre demands it. That's the difference between drama and theatre. Drama, your interface is actually this mic.
Yeah.
So you will find people coming, talking to the mic and then looking at each other. Theatre is not like that. Theatre has its own disciplines. It has stage craft as a discipline. It has lighting, it has costumes, and it has its very movement.
See, I remember during the rehearsals of Ponniyin Selvan, I'd heard that they all did parkour training
Yeah.
for months together.
And for 1999, we trained in Silambam. We trained in music. For 2014, my mother-in-law taught us, the entire 100 of us learnt Devarams.
You had to sing it.
We had to sing it on stage. So the first shot of, the first scene of the 2014 production will have the entire cast singing the first Devaram.
Yeah.
So we really went into the music of Ponniyin Selvan. So this is 360-degree theatre. So it encompasses everything. And that can be life transforming, So that's why it rarely stays a hobby.
Correct.
It can begin as a hobby, but I find
becomes
most of
it's an
them
alternative
continue doing something or other. They push
Right.
it either as reels today or
Correct.
most of them get into films.
Oh, okay,
And
that's what you were
see,
going
that
to-
is a big thing. Today films used to be only your films that ran in
Right,
theatre.
right.
Today films are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's on your screen, it's on
Correct,
your
correct.
screen, it's on your laptop, it's on your your iPad and your
Right.
so performance has really crossed
Yeah.
media barriers. And I think if you are trained, and these things can be done by theatre artists better.
Right.
How would you transform yourself with that little bit of time?
Right.
How can you? So it takes that amount of
Correct.
training
Yeah.
to
Correct.
do that. Otherwise, you can just stand still.
Right, right.
So then I'd like to ask, largely for people out there who are pursuing something in theatre but are also having to maintain another career, much like you did, how did you balance this rigorous training and discipline in theatre along with what would have been a rigorous career in advertising
Yes,
as well?
It is rigorous. There is no doubt about it. You need extreme time management. You need a very, very supportive home environment. Especially if you are a woman and you have children, unless there is support,
You cannot, yeah.
whether it is friends or whether it's a professional environment.
Yeah.
See, for me, I was lucky that my office also liked the fact that I was doing theatre, and so I was
Encouraged
given a
you.
lot of options to work from home and all that.
Right.
And
Or when before COVID time, long back.
Yeah.
yeah, before COVID time. So when I used to do rehearsals, I used to leave early. And my daughter's school, they used to say for rehearsals, we will keep her one more hour with us. So
No, they
it's
would
a
literally
support
babysit her.
literally,
Yeah.
so it's a big support system that helps you do both. Otherwise, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's a struggle.
So I think that would probably be a lot of goal for people out there who are trying to do theatre, to find other industries which support that. So other than advertising, do you think there are any other industries that would that can benefit from someone having theatre experience?
See, there was a guy who worked in L&T, and today what he does training for L&T. He does team leadership training. So somehow I think that company found that a person with this kind of a training can actually help,
See, that's what I'm
company
noticing,
itself.
Tarunya. I think we have groups like Kriya Shakti.
Yes.
They go to schools and colleges and they merge it with any course you're doing. It can be biology, it can be, you can be a commerce student, you can be a science student aspiring to go, going to engineering. But the theatre part of it is common to everybody.
Yes.
For example, I saw it at one of the schools in Aryapuram, one of the Chettinad schools. Kriya Shakti had brought together students of different disciplines.
Yeah.
And they were able to produce something together. It's about teamwork, interaction, and human interface is very, very important.
Sense of community.
Right, and it's something that AI can't replace, like you were talking
Nothing.
about.
And building children. I find the theatre exercises can bring the most diffident child and enable that child to at least speak confidently. That is something that I saw in Chettinad when we were doing those plays. The transformation of a child is remarkable with theatre. We had children with severe learning disabilities, just do these things, and it's not even like there's a theatre for children. There's nothing so specific. It is theatre. But when they start doing the exercises, I have seen transformation of children. I firmly believe that every school must have theatre as a
Character building
exercise.
Absolutely.
Because and see, I know many schools have show and tell and all that, and it brings out confidences in children. But theatre also works on your body, and I find that once people lose physical, what you call body shame, whatever you feel about your body, if you are confident about your body,
Then
you
every
are
other
confident
confidence.
about everything else.
Yeah, so to extrapolate from this, I have seen how Kriya Shakti works in schools and colleges. There must surely be professional groups doing theatre workshops as team building exercises in offices, isn't it?
I would have thought so, but I think this is a huge area that people can get into. I haven't seen much actually other than Kriya Shakti. Then there is KK. There are a few people who work with children, but it's not done. It's not done in a very streamlined way, and I think this is a massive area.
It's a huge
It's
opportunity.
a huge opportunity. It's not just an opportunity for theatre. I think this is an opportunity for schools to explore. All educational institutes, Shastra, they have got a very firm theatre
Footing, is it?
Yeah. They bring in people to train them because they feel as lawyers, especially the law team in Shastra, they have a very strong theatre group.
Oh wow.
And they feel that because the guy who started it
Right?
came from Chettinad.
I see.
And he realized that the voice exercises that we give and the stances that they are able to hold and the body confidence that they have helped them in their law profession.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
They have it. In fact, Kumaravel and I went 2018 to Shastra for a workshop. So
Tarunya has a few more interesting questions for which maybe we'll discuss briefly so that we can cover everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I love that we've been able to cover pretty comprehensively how theatre can help in a multitude of different professions.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know how certain professions can help in theatre. For example, you have a PG diploma in marketing. And
Yes.
I'm so curious about how that would have helped you as a theatre professional overall.
Yes, definitely. See, just as much as theatre helped my advertising to really break free, advertising and marketing helped my theatre, because when we were doing planning and strategy for Ponniyin Selvan 2014, it required a whole lot of marketing tools that we were able to push through with SS International, and that is because of my training in advertising and the media that we could use. And so suddenly we never, we had massive hoardings, we had press ads, we had television ads, we had television stills, and then we actually had radio ads. So so that is when
The promotional side of
promotional
things.
side comes. But there are other professions like law. Law is very, very, very important in performance arts, because there is a very thin line between plagiarism. It may not be in theatre, but I find many other artists do suffer this.
You can't prove certain kinds
You
of
simply
plagiarism.
cannot
Extremely
prove
difficult.
certain things. That's when I find that the legal team, lawyers who've really done performance arts, they are able to at least help out people.
That's interesting.
So I find law has helped also to take activism a step further. We need lawyers.
Right.
We really need lawyers, because we need lawyers not only to set parameters of ownership and and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think also on the confidence front is something that I've seen. When I went to law school, there are so many kids that were able to channel their confidence into artistic endeavors like theatre and
Exactly.
performance arts.
Yeah.
And that, would in turn also improve their ability in mock courts and the actual courtroom at one point of time. It's all just one big stage.
Yes.
So,
But then we had doctors and we had people from a lot of professions. For many people, theatre was a release. Just to come and do that exercise,
Correct.
It was a release from very stressful professions.
So then I'm also curious, I had asked this earlier about managing the rigor of both of two different professions, but I'm more curious about it in terms of specifics, like work timings and remuneration. If you were to balance a theatre profession with an alternate, with a different profession, like being a doctor. I imagine a doctor finding time to come and
for a
participate is difficult.
doctor, there was no way that person could continue theatre.
Okay.
Because at the end of it, it is doctor's rigor is very different.
And emergencies.
It's an emergency thing, and your dedication is towards life there.
Yeah.
So that's
But
it.
most of the professions can fit in.
But every other profession, especially anybody with a white collar job, can fit in theatre, because most of them have very fixed timings,
Right.
and theatre actually works around those timings.
Okay.
You can do theatre in the weekends. You can do theatre 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So it's theatre adjusts.
That's lovely.
Okay.
Is this a general practice you've seen, or is this specifically a magic lantern thing? This
Everybody,
flexibility?
right from drama to except Koothupatre, because Koothupatre is a professional theatre group. You have to join them, and once you join them, it's a whole day. It's like an office timing.
Okay.
So that's how Koothupatre perform. But Magic Lantern is not like that. So Koothupatre, you have to be full time. The rest of it is, as I said, theatre adjusts to you.
Right.
So it is possible.
And you said this is largely the policy with Magic Lantern and others.
Everybody,
Okay.
I find.
To accommodate other professions.
Yes, they really want people. The more people come in, the more rich theatre is.
Okay. That's lovely. So then another common question, or rather a debate that I've been seeing online a lot is when it comes to professionally joining theatre or film or TV, which is better, theatre groups or acting schools?
This is a debate that's been going on for a long time. From my experience, what I would say, if you want to be only in films, please join an acting school. because they teach you stuff like horse riding, music, and actual dancing, which we don't do in theater. But what theater teaches things that only a theater actor would be able to give on stage. For instance, in Magic Lantern, we have something called the art of seeing. So, theater does not give a full-fledged background like a movie does, right? So, when you
The
see
backdrop.
fire, backdrop, so there will be fire on a screen, but there will be nothing on stage. Unless the actor sees the fire in his mind, the audience will not see the fire.
And
But
project.
if he sees and project, so if the actor sees it, believe me, the audience will see. So that is something that I've seen in theater, and that little bit of realism a theater actor can bring on any stage, any medium. This is the difference, and the student has to choose.
Right. Okay. I think that's very helpful to people that are actually
right.
looking to pursue this more seriously, right? Making these choices is
Yes.
a major thing that they would be debating. The debate is real for them.
Yes.
So,
So I have a question, but I will keep it for after her discussion. She has one important point to make. So about culture and social interactions.
So I was actually curious about what the cultural disposition of the theatre profession is, in your opinion. Is it something that's difficult for people to fit into? Is there a lot of, I would say, maybe darker elements that people don't see that you would need to learn to navigate, or just what is that culture like, if you could help us there?
Theater as theater, from what I have seen, actually wants a huge diaspora of people to work in it. Therefore, it is highly accepting of anybody. As I said, theater does not make distinction between, you don't need to fit into a particular physical mold to do theater. Anybody can do theater.
Okay, so the physical requirements.
Films require that.
Yes, yes.
Right? Every other medium requires it except theater.
Right.
Theater accepts you as you are. That is a huge barrier cut right there.
Right. Culturally easy.
Culturally easy. It has no extra cultural demands that any other profession does not give. It is not in that way an extension of films. I would say theater is an extension of travel and literature.
Okay.
Because most of the time you are doing plays.
Right.
Right? So theater is an extension of literature. What you will see a lot of activism.
Right.
Because theater is a fantastic vehicle to take idea forward to people.
And spread awareness.
Right.
And spread awareness. So if there is something that that people feel strongly about, it is very easy to do a street play and take it to people. In fact, when I was in Kutupatrai, we did a play called Thai Say for Corporation of Madras, where we were talking about health and awareness of mother, Thai and Say.
Oh, okay.
So what it requires, nutrition demands and all that,
Right.
how a woman should not keep having more children, how she must plan her pregnancies. So we took it from slum to slum to slum.
Wow.
Wonderful.
So there is no other medium that can do this.
Sorry.
That brings every other,
Right.
that brings people to you,
Correct.
Right.
So
So I'll pass it back to you in just a moment, but I
Right,
just want to
sure.
ask one quick question. How do you think someone can earn a livable, comfortable remuneration in just theatre as a profession?
if you were to have asked me this 5 years ago, I would have said difficult. But today, I find that with acting possibilities across mediums, I find that if you are smart and if you are able to go forth and experiment, then avenues are endless, especially OTT platforms. Theatre artists are like, all of them are on OTT and it is remunerative, right? OTT.
Yes, definitely.
And not only OTT, I find people are theatre producers are working on games.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is going to become very big very soon, because theatre artists can also do some of the body language movement that you see
In
games
animation,
have,
yeah.
animations have. So animation, so these are areas that have immensely opening up, and they are opening up in a big way. So I feel that
Right.
even today, though the remuneration may not be that big, in a year's time this is going to change dramatically. If somebody really loves theatre today, there is a solid way to earn money.
Oh, that's really nice to hear that.
Yeah.
Right?
And schools, again, schools are opening up.
Right,
So these
right,
are
right.
areas.
And this probably also includes areas like makeup and costume design,
Yes.
set design, production
Everything.
value, sound engineering.
Sound engineering is growing in a
Music,
huge way.
music.
Because theatre has also gone into
Live.
events.
We've,
So
we've
Oh,
actually
theatre does product launches, right?
yes, today a lot of theatre groups do product launches, especially in Mumbai. That's become a big thing. That's where advertising and theatre come together.
Okay.
Theatre does road shows.
Wow. Okay. Yes. It is.
So yeah, so road shows, theatre is being
Street
doing.
plays.
Street
for ads,
plays,
yeah.
for
Traveling
ads. So there is actually a huge marrying of these two professions, advertising and theatre.
So that comes back to the original question of
Yeah.
one always helps the other, right?
Yeah.
Always.
So I have a question which is slightly different and coming from an academic angle. There are a lot of communication and advertising courses which now offer scripting
Yes.
separately, and this is not specifically to any medium, but I find that largely it is to do with the print medium and short films, and doesn't really teach feature films, but I don't think it is specifically designed to include theatre. Now, is there any course that specifically trains in theatre writing?
Right now, no. I haven't seen any.
So you would suggest this be part of
I
the
would-
curriculum?
It will be wonderful, because
Okay.
if I do find that theatre writing happens in street plays, but it is ad hoc, right? So it's like just conversation between two people that anybody can write. But structured playwriting, I haven't seen any. It'll be nice to have it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I'd
Very
enjoy a
nice.
course
Yeah.
like that immensely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen any.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Tarunya, for her?
So many, if I really think about it.
Yeah,
but
but
I
we'll
think
then-
our time is limited.
Yeah,
So,
so we'll thank you. This is really nice.
Thank you.
This is a very, very
nice talking
interesting
about it,
session.
yeah.
And I think this series is it's going to be useful for people, either both students as well as people who are trying to get back into a career after a break, as alternative options.
I think also another important thing to note is that even as not maybe a hobby, but as an activity to pursue, theatre can help a lot in giving you that confidence and that discipline that you need
Oh,
to
yes.
pursue whatever your alternate career is, and to give it that viability that it needs
Right.
on a regular basis to pull that out.
There's one thing that I'd like to add,
Right.
is that there's one very interesting profession that theatre training can, for those who do not want to continue just theatre, is being a fitness trainer.
Oh, nice.
Many of them today are yoga trainers because of the intensive practice we go through. They are also fitness trainers, so they are able to take you through your stretches and all that. Especially women are doing that in a very, very big way,
Oh, that's really nice.
and that has become a hugely paying thing.
Yes, yes.
You know.
One of the biggest paying
Yeah.
things.
Skills, we get more skills.
Yeah,
So this
yeah,
is
yeah.
one. There's some. It's a very nice thing that I'm seeing now.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. So thank you, both of you, and you want to say thanks.
Yes, thank you so
Thank
much,
you, thank
Kamam,
you.
for joining us and for sharing all of your insights with us.